Hello and welcome to the most underrated show on the internet.
We're What's with a Lemon, and we're ready for Trump Nation.
Oh God, I knew it was gonna be something. I didn't know.
Joe.
What is Trump Nation?
That's just something they say sometimes.
That sounds stupid. If I'm gonna be honest,
it is dumb. And I said it because it's dumb. I just said we're ready, Joe.
Our prior episode came out the Monday before election.
Our recording is now the
And
Wednesday.
now the recording is the day after. So I'm going to say that is why our view count was so low.
You think it's because of the election?
I'm just saying it. I'm saying it because the past two episodes have been very low.
Could it possibly because we've gone PG?
You said nothing was going to happen going PG.
No,
so
to be honest, Joe,
I'm doing the Trump hands. Nothing could happen when we're going PG.
It wasn't the PG thing. It was that you spoke an entire episode about Life is Strange.
No, that episode did great.
No, it didn't.
It did.
Liar.
Dude, that episode, last time I checked, had 80 views.
Joe, how do you feel about Life is Strange now, Joe?
Well, we'll get into that.
Okay.
First, I just want to point out how happy I am that you started this episode with a Trump reference.
Okay.
Because I was like, I already know what I want to name the podcast.
What?
The podcast has to be Making Podcasts Great Again.
Making podcasts great
I was like,
again.
okay, we have to be able to naturally and very organically get to that.
Yeah.
And so instead we just, what?
Just went right into it. I mean, I didn't know what your plan was.
No.
We're very excited.
You don't know what I feel.
Yes, I do.
What do I feel? You don't know who I voted for.
I do.
I think you don't.
You told me.
I lied. I think it's funny, as I was looking, spoiler alert, for news stories, that there was a super high percentage of people, and by super I mean like 15 to 20%, that were shocked and kind of blown away that Joe Biden wasn't on the ballots, which just shows for everyone that thinks that this election season is bigger than anything else in the world, there's still a lot of people that don't give two hoots.
Yeah.
So maybe put that in your pipe and smoke it a little bit. There's a lot of people that still thought Joe Biden was going to be on the ballot.
That's not saying that much, Joe.
Just saying. People take this season as people go insane. People are nuts.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
And especially this day after, dude. I mean, like we were talking about it earlier. Just seeing all the videos of just people losing their goddamn mind.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's wild. It's actually wild. Like I was trying to tell you some stuff and you're like, don't tell me.
Save for podcast. Save for the
podcast. But like certain people think that Trump becoming president means that they've lost all their rights.
It's funny because I've seen so many of that stuff and it's like you do realize he's already been in office.
Yeah, and you didn't lose any of your rights.
It's insane.
I mean, on a serious note, Kamala's campaign has been saying that he's a Nazi and that he's Hitler. And,
yeah.
I mean, they're trying to freak people out.
Yes. It's not, to be fair, it's not just Kamala's campaign because that was Joe's tactic too.
Yeah.
So the whole Hitler thing has been a tactic for years.
Which is wild.
I know.
Like, he had a rally at Madison Square Garden. You know who else did? Bill Clinton, Kennedy. You know, like a lot of presidents have had rallies at Madison Square Garden. They literally took video because the Nazi campaign did a press conference there once before World War II.
Yeah. Justice, why are you doing the Nazi symbol right now?
Why are you doing?
Oh my God, dude, what are you doing?
I am not. Oh, how did my hand get up there?
Just obviously, there's no video. He was not, but it was funny.
What? Keeps doing it.
Your mustache is growing at an alarming rate.
Oh no! This is terrible.
Sorry to cut you off. Continue.
But they literally would play. They would clip videos of Nazi Germany's campaign and his, and like, do you see the resemblance? This is where our country's headed.
Oh my God, I do.
And then they're
Justice, they were both white.
Both white.
And both dudes.
Both dudes.
Other than that,
there's nothing to say. Literally nothing.
That's enough, though.
It's enough. It was wild, man.
Yeah.
Like you said, videos of people breaking down. Like, look, if the opposite side would have won, I would have been upset.
Continue.
I'm sure it can hear it, honestly.
If it can hear it, The dryer just did a little
Dryer
jingle,
chime.
and I had to dance to
Had
it.
to dance.
It was good.
He had to dance.
Just like when Justice does his show songs, it always gives me a little,
Show songs?
like blind rankings and news, your songs. I
Oh.
always do a little. I have to do a little dance.
I see.
I keep on distracting you. Continue.
And it doesn't matter anymore.
Well, it does.
And I was gonna
Does.
say if the person I wanted to win lost, I would be sad too. But I wouldn't post about it.
No, because again, you're not a teenage white girl. To be fair, there's been a lot of non-teenage white girls posting and freaking out, but it just goes into my whole stance of
Did you see? Did you see? Not long after the election and everything happened, did you see what Elon Musk did? He's like, I'm gonna buy CNN,
that's awesome.
and he's like, I'm gonna reform the news one station at a time.
I mean, it would be great.
Dude, CNN is like those major news stations are horrible.
I mean, you have to. I mean, I feel the same way about Fox. Honestly,
It's any extreme is bad.
Yeah, you have to find fully independent
Yeah,
news stations.
people who don't have a stake in the fight. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it's super biased, no matter what.
Yeah, it's insane. And one of my things that I always see is like, if you watch them side by side, just their scripts, because they're the same. They're the exact same.
Have you
and then
seen
they
that
just
video
change
where it's
names.
like hundreds of
Yes.
stations?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Misinformation is getting crazy.
Yeah,
Just talks about all this
there's. I should know this, Bo, from the Mr. Bo and Joe show.
stuff. Oh, Joe, before we continue anymore, I'm Justice.
And I'm Joe. Welcome to
We
What's
should
with
really
the Women.
do that at the beginning.
Oh, you're on my side now. I brought this up like 20
And
or
we
10
still
episodes.
can't do it.
But that's why throughout I say your name so much.
I mean,
Have you noticed that?
Joe,
That's not how we talk.
We've always, yeah, it kind of is though.
I'm not like
Joe,
Justice.
last night we were talking and playing games together, and the amount of times you said my name, and also, what do you mean?
Okay.
pretty high.
I so badly want a shirt now that just says what do you mean?
But it has to be mean.
Yeah, with like the Life is Strange butterfly or something, because it's always in reference to that.
Continue. I interrupted you.
What was I saying?
I don't remember.
Oh, it's to get to a thing I don't know. Bo listens to this really like truly independent news station that's on YouTube and stuff like that. Who I really like. When we were living together, I would listen to it sometimes.
It's hard to be truly independent in this.
and
day
I
and
think
age.
they are. Next week I'll get their name and shout
Plug
them
'em.
out. Yeah, not that they need our plug.
No, we need their plug.
Yeah, will he sponsor us?
Sponsor, please.
I just want to point out, because like you said, this has been shocking. I don't know if it's really shocking, but the amount of just people acting super depressed and crazy and nutsos. I just want to say to all of them, you don't know what true depression is.
No, you don't.
I'm so glad you're agreeing, because I've been truly depressed the past week and a half.
Look at you, bring it around.
I have been I have been in a deep depression.
Would you say not just depression, but an anger?
Yes. An anger, like I don't know what to do with myself. And so I'm seeing all these people today act like they're depressed and sad, and I just can't help but be like,
You should have done a
"You're an
parody
idiot."
video.
Because true depression is playing your favorite game franchise and realizing it's just taken a massive dump on itself. When I tell you, so I finally perfected Life is Strange. I got all the
He
achievements,
completed it 100%.
double exposure. This is the first Life is Strange game that when I was playing a second playthrough, I was miserable.
Miserable.
It
I'm sorry, I'm smiling. Hear this.
I am depressed. And so when
I
all these
know.
people are talking about being depressed because Trump won, I'm like, you don't know anything. That's so stupid. How dare you? How dare you try to take away this season
You're
of
all
my
what's
life?
wrong with society, aren't you?
No, because no one is now focusing on me.
Yeah, it's true.
Because
no one
and
was.
I,
Sorry. I mean, that's just
that's why I have a podcast, Jess, is so people focus on me.
that's fair. It's fair.
I've been really going at it.
I was with you.
You were.
When you completed it the second time. I think you told me this is the only way that you're somewhat enjoyed
I
the
needed
second.
you.
Yeah.
I literally, you wanted to go to bed like 20 minutes earlier, and I was like, Justice, wait, please, stay with
need you to
me.
be
Stay with me.
Like,
there's a while where we just stopped talking.
yeah.
But
Well, you were
still
talking.
I was.
You're just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And to be fair, this brought me an immense amount of joy, by the way. An immense amount of joy.
I'm glad my depression brought you.
Now, Joe, I know you don't want to go super into it because people have heard a lot about this game at this point,
Yeah.
but your initial response was great.
Great.
It turned really sour.
It turned so sour, dude. And
Now, do you think that the community had a reason to be upset about it?
yes. Here, this is all I'm going to say because every week now I keep on saying, this is the last I'm going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And then I talk about it again.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's the end of the road. I think they can recover. They just have to be dedicated to recovery. Because this game...
How? When the critics think it's amazing.
Yeah, because the critics are retards.
And they're not Life is Strange fans.
No. So I am a part of 2 subreddits. I'm a part of...
Only 2.
No, I'm a part of a lot more than that. But 2 Life is Strange ones.
Okay.
The Life is Strange main subreddit, which is now kind of a joke because there's people that work on the games that are the mods. So they just delete any kind of posts that are native. And then I'm part of the Pricefield subreddit, which is like the Max and Chloe subreddit.
Right.
Which is where a bunch of the community has gone to complain and to... And so... there's a lot of like fan theories or like how like moving forward, like if
How they
they
can
could
fix
do
things.
yeah, I do, because the game is there was great things about it, but after chapter 3, 4, and 5, it's like the writing team just decided we didn't want to come into work today. So I'm too depressed to talk about it really.
Do you think that's why they released the first 2 episodes first?
Yeah.
And the last... Oh, interesting. That does suck. I'm sorry, man. But not really.
Shut up.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? I think, I have a feeling we're going to kind of keep on going back to this Trump thing.
Well, throughout the podcast, yeah.
There is one thing I wanted to say.
Okay.
Again, to everyone complaining that Trump hates women because it's madness. 1, if you can't define a woman, then how do you know if he hates you or not?
That's true.
2, there is a little bit of, I do believe it a little bit. Can I tell you why?
Well, you haven't told me what you believe.
That Trump hates women.
Oh. Okay.
Can I tell you
why
why?
is that?
So, I've seen like memes of this. So I don't know who was the first to come up with it, but I don't want to steal. If I knew, I would be like, this is someone else's bit.
Right.
But who did he win his first election from?
Hillary.
Hillary. Okay.
Crooked Hillary.
Crooked Hillary.
I want to do such a good
Can you
Trump.
do a Trump? You're so good at impressions. Can you not do?
Sometimes.
You just gotta do the hands. No one's better than Shane Gillis.
He's really
He's
good.
so good.
He's really good. I probably could work at it, but I don't feel
Work on
confident
it for
enough.
next episode.
Okay, I'll
We
do
have
my
4
best.
years of them. Okay, so Hillary,
Yeah.
he destroyed.
Destroyed.
Okay, he lost to Joe,
Yes.
a man, and then he just destroyed Kamala. So he's like, to the women, he's like,
so
let me take him out. To the
here's-
man, he's like, you got this. It's fine.
Here's the problem, and I might get some flack for this.
We'll see if you get more than me.
For just saying that, and I might. I think if we're gonna have a woman president, it's gonna be a momentous occasion.
Yes.
The American people are not going to put in a woman president if she's not up to snuff.
I'm going to tell you this. I feel bad for not knowing her name. Trump has this, Trump has a woman on his team. I mean, he has several, but one of the main ones that could run when he's done, who is everything that the Democrats tried to say Kamala was.
Yeah, but they'll never admit that.
Like she would be, I don't know a lot because who cares about politics? I don't. But she is like someone that would be like an exciting first president.
Yes, and we want
Woman
it to
president.
be exciting.
And
Like Hillary Clinton, not exciting. in a robot of some sort of
I disagree
terrible.
with that. A robot? I disagree with that.
Have you seen the videos of her reacting to her crowds?
Yeah, it just seems very like old
It's
school.
no, it looks like a robot who doesn't know how to react to normal human emotions.
Yeah, an old school like political person.
Robot.
I disagree with that statement.
Beep boop bop.
I disagree with that
Joseph.
statement.
And then you got Kamala, who is a nothing burger of a human.
I disagree with that one.
Yeah, nothing burger. I this whole time, it's this whole race. What's her policy? Have no idea.
I do. Her policy was, I grew up in a middle class family. I also here, I will say this
Good one.
again because I'm curious if we're gonna get any hate, because the only time I got hate on the podcast, the most hate, has been for freaking not knowing the difference between homecoming and prom. And then
I still don't know.
me neither, honestly. There is no difference.
It's just a dance. The only one that I know the difference of is Sadie Hawkins.
But that's because of Reliant K.
Of course.
Let's be honest. But before that, it was the riding, not riding. The What was the big thing about people taking pictures to post online about? Never mind, doesn't matter.
Who are you talking about?
I'm trying to say the things I've gotten hate for on this podcast.
Oh, you meant protesting
Protesting is what I tried.
and posting it online.
Yeah, because that's why Americans protest.
Yeah, they just want to. They either want to be patted on the back, good job, you did something, or
They just want to try to feel
who
better
knows
about
really what
themselves.
they want.
If it again, doesn't matter. We have like 70 to 80
Joe,
people
we might be
subscribe to us.
PG now, but we're gonna be super offensive to other people.
I disagree. We're not I don't think from the start I've been offensive.
We could, like, it's your freedom to vote, and we're not mad at who you voted for,
No.
and we don't think you're stupid just because you voted for somebody else.
And we're just like, we're gonna make fun of you regardless.
Yeah, you should be able to make fun of it. You should be.
Yeah. Here's my problem. Is I don't, especially, I know there's so many people that do, but I don't really ever think about politics. Okay?
I do.
I know you do.
Yeah.
I don't. I just don't. I don't, like, my brain doesn't go there. My problem is, as a Christian and a believer, that, so many people talk about how Christians are just aren't minding their business. Like, you're supposed to separate church and state. No, I agree with that statement.
Yeah.
Justice is shaking his head. The problem is the state has stopped focusing on the state and has moved towards moral issues and making that part of the state.
Yeah.
So once the state says, okay, we're going to try to clump in all these moral issues, the church isn't overstating their boundaries. The state has now overstated theirs.
Yeah. Overstepped.
Overstepped. Thank you.
Yeah.
So that's like, I don't like Trump. I'm voted for Trump because out of the two evils, sadly, I mean, like, I'm going to align with him because he has, and his team is not going to, like, raise up all these terrible things. Is he a perfect human? No.
No one is.
No one is. Honestly, he does a lot of things that drives me insane. I'm super happy we're going to have 4 years of him.
Yeah.
Like,
His biggest thing is common sense. They want to restore common sense to the American people.
I think,
It might not be Trump's doing, but his party wants to.
I just think that the government's got to get back in its box.
In a way, I agree.
Because the past, I mean, realistically,
they tried to reach into everything.
yeah, it's always bad, but the past 16 years,
But that's also because certain people allowed that. They wanted them to.
everyone has.
Begged them to.
Yeah. It's because I don't know.
There's certain things that should be separate.
It is. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I wouldn't even went on that. Who knows?
Tangent. Hey, maybe it was important. Who knows?
You know what is definitely important?
What's that, Joe?
Blind rankings.
Oh, blind ranking.
All right, Justice. This is a political episode.
Joe, do you say blind rankings or do you say blind ranking?
Rankings.
I just say ranking.
Well, we've done several now, so it's rankings.
It's true. It's true.
And one of my many problems with talking is I love to add S's to things. I just love,
love
to
to
make
make things
things
plural?
Yeah, I just love it. I don't know why. Or if it is a plural, I like to take it away.
Singular?
Yeah,
You just
I don't
meant-
know. I don't know why I do it. I just always do.
That is weird.
Justice,
Yes.
this is a goddamn political podcast now.
Yeah, we
this
are.
episode,
Yeah,
at least for sure.
We're into politics now.
So, my blind ranking,
Uh-huh.
and just so everyone knows at home how a blind ranking works,
Yeah.
is I'm going to give you 5 things. You have to rank them blindly. Once you put one in a spot, you cannot move it. Got it? Mm-hmm. Okay.
I hate when you explain it.
I know, which is why I explain it now every time.
Hate it. Feel like people could figure it out.
Yeah. Today's blind ranking.
Uh-huh.
Okay. It's going to be crimes. Bad crimes.
From-
But, Justice,
okay.
only the number 1 crime goes away. Does that make sense? So you're going to rank crimes from 5, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2,
But the
1.
number one crime no longer is a crime.
Yeah, you're going to do a service to the world and take away the number 1 crime.
Ooh, okay. Well, this is interesting.
Yeah.
All right. I'm ready.
Okay. Murder. What are your thoughts on murder, Justice? If you had to rank murder.
It's pretty up there, dude.
Yeah,
It's pretty up there.
it is.
Murder.
Murder.
We could solve a lot of problems with no murder.
Dude, without murder,
These are crimes.
these are crimes. All these are going to be crimes. You can go to jail for all these things on this list.
Can I ask a clarifying question on this?
A blind ranking is once you put something on.
No, I will kill you. Say if I put murder at number one, erase it,
Yeah.
and somebody commits a heinous crime, is the death penalty murder?
Oh, yeah, it's murder. But, so it's just life in prison then.
No, people already don't do the death penalty a lot of places.
So many times it's just life in prison. But for murder, I'm thinking that takes away drunk driving. If you accidentally hit someone when you're drunk, like,
Joe, I
all
think
these-
murder has to be number one.
whoa,
I think it has to
that's insane.
be. But
You're dropping, okay,
But
it's your list. It's your list.
in my mind, it was just like, I mean,
Just, I have some bad things on this list.
I know, Joe,
Okay.
but wouldn't murdering somebody in any of the sense solve a lot of problems?
I have 2 I would put over murder. That's
Interesting.
just me personally.
I think I'm putting murder number one.
Damn.
Let's outlaw murder. It's not ever going to happen again.
Okay. Okay, that's fair. That's good. That people will probably agree with you.
Okay.
Okay. Number 2,
Okay.
gonna softball you a little bit.
Okay.
Stealing. That's definitely. I mean, if you chose stealing as number
I'd probably
1, that's
do
rough.
number 5 for stealing.
Number 5 for stealing.
Yeah.
Bank robberies count as stealing.
I gotta tell you, Joe. I
stealing
still
social
over,
securities.
I still over. Like I have like this appreciation for heist movies.
Yeah,
I love them so much.
Yeah. What's your favorite heist movie?
It's a toss up
Okay.
between Ocean's 11
Okay.
and I can't remember the name of it right
The one with Jason Statham.
It's not Jay. It's Mark Wahlberg.
Jason Statham's in that movie too.
The one with the Mini Coopers.
Yeah.
The Italian Job.
Yeah.
It's a toss up between
The
those.
Italian Job's my favorite. You have Seth Green, Mark Wahlberg, and Jason Statham. Actually, I don't think Mark Wahlberg's in that. I think Mark Wahlberg's in Ocean's 11.
Two. He's not.
He is.
No.
No, it's Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Which is
pretty
kind
sure
of the same person.
No, they're very different.
No, they're very
Matt
similar.
Damon was never a rapper. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Matt Damon could be a rapper though.
Probably.
Him and mine is the Italian Job.
Italian
That's
Job.
my favorite heist movie.
It's a good one.
So Stealing is number 5 for you.
Yeah, solely for that reason. Also, you'd have a lot of like boring movies if stealing wasn't a part of it.
Yeah, true.
Including like things like Indiana Jones wouldn't exist. And
Lying in court. No,
that's never gonna change.
but if you would have chose that as your number 1, you just fixed our entire system. Think of that. You blew it with murder. Because if you chose lying in court, if someone did go to court for murder, they would have to say, yeah, that was me. Think of how you could have...
Joe, listen. This is a blind...
O.J. Simpson.
This is a blind...
O.J. Simpson. I did it again. I said Simpsons. He would have been like,
Bart,
yeah, that is my
Lisa,
glove.
Homer. I know lots of Simpsons.
I just
Joe,
really thought
can I tell you a
always
secret?
choose number
Can I
1
tell you
for the
a
last
hey,
one.
Listen here, butthole. You...
Wow.
This is a blind
You just called me a butthole.
I did. This is a blind ranking. I don't know what you're going to say, numbnut.
Yeah, but I told you there's one's worse than murder here.
After I said murder's number 1.
No. I tried to do it before.
No, you
I
didn't.
tried. I
You
did.
didn't say it.
I did.
I said number 1.
Okay, so what's lying in court?
That one doesn't matter. It's 4.
Justice. Are you okay? Okay.
I feel like that's part of the whole court system. Joe, if there was no lying in court, you wouldn't need lawyers, and then Bo would be out of the job.
No. What do you mean? You have to have a lawyer.
Yeah, because the people,
Okay.
But if people didn't lie, you wouldn't need a
Just
lawyer.
remember, you chose murder as number 1.
I'm still up there on that one. I'm still okay with it. So far, it's not worse.
Content warning for the next minute, probably. Okay.
This
3,
is gonna have some really terrible
2,
stuff.
1. Rape.
Yeah, I had a feeling that would be it. It's still not as bad as murder for me.
Wow, you're messed up, dude.
I'm not.
Okay, so
Rape-
where are you putting
rape
rape
is-
number 5?
Rape is horrible, but I wouldn't want the rapist to kill the person, which happens a lot.
More, not as much as it doesn't.
Well, still.
We have a minute to talk about this, so we gotta do this one quick.
I would say this one's probably number 2. It is horrible.
I have a really... You sure?
Joe, you can't do this. It's a blind
Okay.
rank. You're not supposed to
Okay.
tell me
No,
any of
you're
these
right.
things.
Okay.
You're supposed to just blind
Okay.
rank. You can't judge every
True.
decision I make.
Okay. So now we have murder, the R word, as 1 and 2. And then for 5, we have stealing, which is crazy that stealing is number 5. And then 4 is lying in court. So this is your 3rd. You think this next one...
Joe, it's a blind ranking.
Justice, you think that there are
You
things...
put so much weight on these things.
Yeah, because they are. This is what you believe.
Yeah.
Number 3, loitering.
I think I did this right.
You think loitering is worse than lying in court and stealing?
Joe,
Just so you're
I'm right in the middle of the road.
think standing still and not moving somewhere.
What a terrible thing to do.
I'm just
I feel like
as your
it's in the middle of
brother.
indifferent.
As your brother,
Hey,
I'm a
I've
little
been-
upset.
I've been places and I'm just like, what the heck is that guy just standing there for? He's been there for a long time.
And you think that's worse than lying
And stealing?
and stealing?
Probably.
That's really as
what
your
am I
brother.
You need
As your brother, that's, I'm just blown
The
away.
whole point of a blind ranking is that I have no idea what's coming, Joe.
Yeah, but blind rankings are also 100% truth, and you can't change your opinion once you've done your blind ranking. So this is your real opinion
Oh,
on
interesting.
how laws work.
I didn't realize I agreed to those terms.
Well, that's how they happen, you know?
Wild.
Very political
I'm
blind
very,
ranking, you know?
very happy with my choice.
You're insane.
Murder is by far the
Loitering
worst.
should have been number 5, dude.
Well, sure.
It's the least on that list. Are you insane?
I mean, sure. I probably would have flipped the script. It probably would have been loitering number 5, lying in court number 4, and
Stealing number 3.
Stealing number 3.
I would have done lying in court as number 1.
It's a weird one, man.
No, but that fixes everything.
It doesn't.
It does.
There's still gonna be murders.
Yeah, but you will know who the murderer is.
So
It fixes
does-
it.
You think it helps
If
the people who
justice-
had the murder, Joe? That you
So
think
many-
it helps the family who's
so
died?
many- yes.
No.
Closure.
Barely. They
So
never
many-
get their person back, Joe.
So many people go down the road of
Poll.
I will.
Poll.
I will do a
Who
poll.
thinks murder is worse.
Dude, lying in court fixes all of them.
It does
It does.
not.
It fixes
Joe,
stealing.
There are
It
places in the world that don't have court.
I'm sorry. Do we live there or do we live in America?
We do, but even still, it doesn't fix anything.
It does.
Yeah.
So many people get into that line of work because they know they can get out of stuff. Think of all the corrupt business people.
Of course.
Think of all of them, bro.
Well, if
Think
they're
of-
corrupt, they're probably having people murdered, but they can't now.
No, but they do so much worse than
Like
that.
things like the mafia, the yakuza.
Think of Diddy.
They-
Think of the sex trafficking guy.
We'll find them, Joe.
No, you won't.
I want to.
He's dead. He killed
murder.
himself.
I want to outlaw murder. I stick to it.
Okay. Just saying. It's a weird list. We're a very political podcast. Very, very political.
You could either call this Trump asshole.
Dude, my hands will never stay still anymore.
Listen.
Justice,
Yeah.
it's time for some news.
What's with the lemon news?
God, I feel so...
You know, it's funny because, the elections are this week, so there's a lot. I mean, we're this
That
week.
could have
so
been the news.
It could have been the whole
We should have
news.
just saved all that for the news.
Yeah, but I know you got other stuff,
I
Joe.
do, dude.
Was it a good week for news?
Um,
You made it sound just now like you had a good week for news.
no, it wasn't a good week
That
for news,
is
Justice.
a great week for news.
It's a little sad if I'm being honest.
Excuse me.
I have some exciting thing. I'm going to save one for the end because I think that's going to be the most conversationalist.
Okay.
People that listen to this podcast might think of me as a little bit of a conspiracy theorist. A conspiracyist? What's it? A conspirator?
Help you. You're gonna figure this one out.
Someone that
A conspiracy theorist.
someone that maybe thinks as I'm an open-minded
What did you say
individual.
the first-
Conspiracyist. I don't know. Okay.
Conspiracist.
What if I told you I believe the elections were made at this time in this season to hide a bigger problem going
I
on
wouldn't
in the
be
world?
surprised. You say that every single time we do the news.
Justice,
You literally say it every single time.
I believe we're all, and by we all, I mean all of you people, are being sheeples right
Yeah,
now.
right.
Because you're focused on the election
Yeah, very focused.
when you should be focused on a famous British chef. Who, might I ask? Jamie Oliver urges followers to help solve, listen, people, this is intense, the Great Cheese Robbery. Okay,
What's
again,
happened?
you could have fixed this. If you said no stealing as number one, this wouldn't have happened.
We also wouldn't have had the story. So aren't you thankful?
the Great Cheese Robbery happen, Justice.
Tell me about the story, Joe.
So, I'm pulling it up. real
Jamie
fast.
Oliver, first off, loved his cooking show.
You know, he's come under a lot of flack because of Uncle Roger.
Uncle Raw. Sorry, I shouldn't do that.
That was also a really bad.
I wasn't going to really dig into it,
Okay.
Joe.
So Jamie Oliver urges his followers to help find the mysterious missing 22 metric tons of award-winning cheddar that's gone missing.
22 metric tons?
It is 48,488 pounds worth of cheese that has gone missing.
That's impossible.
Why do you think it's a mystery, Justice? This is not just a normal.
We need to
this
get
is normal
we need to
cheese.
get Basil
either.
on the case.
Who's Basil?
Great mouse detector.
Oh, that was really clever. This isn't normal cheese, though. This is award-winning cheddar. I don't think I've ever had award-winning cheddar.
No.
So that's going on as everyone's focused on the debates.
We've lost this giant
Coincidence?
mound of cheddar.
I think not.
What
We're
if,
all focused here when all
so,
this cheese is just
first,
getting...
how did Jamie Oliver know that this was happening?
He's a cook, Justice.
So you
He's a
think-
famous chef.
Is he the only chef that's mentioned this?
He's the only one brave enough to stand up and have people think about the cheese. Why aren't people thinking of the cheese?
Why aren't people thinking of the cheese, man?
I'm just upset that people aren't thinking of the goddamn cheese.
Is there any Is there any updates to that original story?
No, this is breaking news, dude.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
How does a metric ton of cheese disappear?
Not a metric ton, Justice. 22 metric tons. That's a lot of tons.
It was,
I don't know.
I wasn't trying to be exact.
But it takes a nation looking away
where
for the cheese to go away.
where was the cheese being held?
Unimportant.
I feel like it's really important.
It wasn't in America, but you know.
I'm pretty sure
It's
that's
still
really
America.
how do you find said cheese if you don't know where it's at in the first place?
The internet, Justice. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm sorry
is that
that
an
everyone's.
answer for something?
He's urging his followers to help.
And
Why would he urge his followers to help if he wasn't one? The power of one.
how did he know it was missing?
Again,
And if he's the first one
He's
to
a-
notice this, isn't the first
No,
one
no.
to cry wolf usually the perpetrator?
I disagree with that, but
I mean, I do too, but it's
I think it's because, like I said, he's the only one brave enough to stand up to the cheese robbery.
so is that where
There's
we
probably a cheese mafia out there, and he should be on life aid, whatever it is, prisoner watch.
I don't know what you're talking about, but we'll. So, what theories of what happened? to
Well, again, I've never had award-winning cheddar,
it? Yeah.
but I will say this: I am glad it was cheddar. What is your favorite cheese, Justice?
I do like me some cheddar, but it's not my favorite. I think because it's on pizza and a lot of other things I like, I love mozzarella.
Mozzarella is really good.
Yeah, I love
I'm-
mozzarella.
Granted, you can't put it on anything,
My Italianness.
but feta, man. I love.
I mean, feta was up there too, but it's solely because you can't put it on everything.
Yeah.
It's not on there.
I would love to try award-winning feta.
Oh,
Oh my god, because this is award-winning cheddar.
it would be really cool. All right.
Jamie, listen.
We're gonna no. This is
Oh.
not about the cheese.
Justice.
What is the one thing that you could try side by side comparisons of a normal version and the best there ever is?
Anything?
Anything. The best
mean-
there ever, and you can compare it, so you can actually taste what we all
Cheese is really high on that because we're talking about cheeses. I just my brain just like feta, 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 feta.
It can be a meal. It can be candy. It could be.
Feta.
It could be feta cheese, if that's really the way you want to go.
Dude, if a good oh man. I don't know.
That's a good
That's
question.
a
right?
really good question.
I think mine.
Uh-huh.
I would love to taste the best. Actually, two things. I would love to taste the best cup of coffee.
Ooh,
Like the best cup of coffee.
that would be good.
And I'd want to see it be prepared too, because that
Yes.
sounds very relaxing
Yes.
to me.
Does
And
it have to be something we ingest?
I guess not. I wasn't thinking of it in other terms, but yeah, I guess it can be. The other thing for me was pizza. I want to taste the best pizza ever made.
I don't think you would like it.
It's the best pizza ever made.
Yeah, but the best pizza ever made is normally those oven-baked pizzas, you know, instead of like fast food
I
pizza.
like oven baked
Okay.
pizzas.
Okay. My brain went to two things
Okay.
other than feta,
Okay.
which I still think could be my number one.
Okay.
I would like to sit on the world's best toilet and imagine what that experience would be
It's
like.
probably a bidet.
But what kind?
Yeah.
You know, is it going to make my butt warm or is it going to play
Uh-huh.
soft, beautiful music
The
as
best toilet. Okay.
I think that would be nice. And
Very
just,
wholesome of you, Joe.
I would love to experience what the best couch would be like.
Ooh.
You know,
I'm in the
optimal
furniture business
comfiness.
now, Joe.
You are. But
sat on
I
some
bet
comfy
you probably
couches.
don't own, I mean, your store is amazing.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I bet you don't own, your
The
store
most
doesn't
comfortable
have
couch
the
in the
most
world.
comfortable couch in the world.
It's so interesting because I bet those things are so subjective.
Yes.
But it'd be like
So is food,
it
though.
would be your best comfortable
Yeah.
couch.
Yeah.
Very
But I
cool.
think feta kind of beats all that.
Yeah.
Yep. So we will
chocolate
keep.
would be interesting too. I'd like to taste the world's best chocolate.
Yeah. I think mine would probably be a dark chocolate. I like dark chocolate a lot. I will say this before we get back to this cheese.
We're gonna go back to the cheese, not the next story.
Well, I just want to let everyone know that
They solved it.
I will keep I will
tabs
keep
on it.
the What's with the Lemon crew.
Just you. Solely you.
Every time I figure out something about the cheese, I will let you know about the cheese. So, Halloween also just happened,
Halloween.
and I haven't had candy in a very long time.
Yes. You've been on a pretty good diet.
Thank you, sir.
You've been killing it.
Thank you.
You're looking slim.
Yeah. But I had a lot of candy on Halloween,
Oh yeah.
and I forgot just how much candy just makes your face break out.
It really does.
And I was like, why am I getting so many zits again? I was like, oh, it's because I just downed like 7 pieces of...
Was it worth it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was so good. All right, Justice. This is a very sad...
News article?
I think so.
Okay. Are you saying that jokingly or are you actually serious? He raised his eyebrows.
Have you heard about the new social media star, Peanut? Peanut the squirrel? Oh, you haven't heard anything? Have you, Kirsten? Oh, God.
You might have to give us a little bit of a backstory on Peanut the squirrel.
So, Peanut the squirrel, the backstory is this man, I don't know the man's name,
Okay.
rescued this squirrel.
Right.
I
might have heard about this.
So, and like the squirrel like became like, he kept it in his home, like
Super
fed,
dependent and like
yeah, and it was
loved
like,
him.
yeah, he tried to release him back to the wild. He
Came
came back, and the squirrel. Then he was like, well, okay, well, you know,
He'll be my pet.
He'll be my pet, and like started to post videos and pictures and got super famous. Well, the squirrel has since been killed, taken away from the person and killed because it was a wild animal. So they said you can't have this in his home. And they said they'll find a new place for this squirrel to live and be in its squirrely habitat, but instead they just took it and killed it.
I have heard this story.
Okay.
That's so sad.
Yeah. I stop my car for squirrels.
But not cats.
No, I've hit like 3 or 4 cats.
Did they die?
At least 2. I know one definitely didn't die because it was like...
Well, there goes.
And I was like, oh dear God. And then I hit another one and its owner was out and he was like, just started screaming and yelling at me. But I didn't stop. His cat was in the road. I have glasses now. Just
I don't know if he wanted to admit to being a cat murderer.
Okay, ask me this question, Justice. Have I ever killed a porcupine? Ask me.
Joe, can I ask you another
We've talked about it on the podcast before.
Yeah, can I ask you another follow-up?
Yeah.
Have you swerved to hit a cat?
I plead the fifth.
Versus swerving to try to avoid a porcupine?
I have never hit a squirrel. I have ran over a dead squirrel's body.
I have hit a squirrel.
You murderer.
That
You're no better than me.
But I also hit a coyote and dragged it across the ground with my car.
You were probably saving Roadrunner.
I didn't see a roadrunner.
Exactly, you saved it from the coyote.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, because it went meep meep and ran too fast.
So fast.
Yeah.
Unlike the coyote, who I hit really hard.
But again, you never hit a porcupine.
When I hit the coyote, I just remember going, ooh. Yes, I'm dragging it across the ground. And
I've never dragged
out
anything
from under my car.
I've never dragged anything.
I don't think you hit anything that big, though.
No. I did do that when
You've gotten hit by a car.
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't see me complain. You don't see PETA coming to me and being like, are you okay?
To be fair, you would have lost the lawyer fight because as soon as he hit you, you admitted blame.
I just said, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay, and just kept walking. Yeah, I mean,
one of the funniest
granted,
things.
the car was going like at 1 mile an hour.
But still, it hit you.
It did. It was enough for me to get onto the hood a little bit.
Old man.
He was looking at one way for traffic, and I was walking, and it was pulling out of a parking
When he
lot.
realized that he had hit you, did he?
No, he wasn't an old man. He was a rough and toughian.
Oh, so he's like, yeah, get off the hood of my car.
Yeah, pretty much. And then the car behind him was like, what the hell was that? Are you okay? And that's when I was like, I'm okay, I'm okay. And just kept on walking.
So good.
All right, Justice.
Yes.
The last news story
The last news.
of this episode. Not of ever, but the last news.
Okay.
Have you heard of the love languages before?
Yes, of course.
Did you know that they've added 2 new love languages?
Oh, no.
No, this is like, I don't know if, I think the guy's dead. I actually don't know. But like, it's in the love language stuff. Like, these are the 2 new love languages. This is real. Don't give me that look. Can you tell me what the love languages are? Not the 2 new ones, but the
Physical touch.
physical touch.
Words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation.
Acts of service.
Acts of service.
Personal time.
Personal time.
Gifts.
Gifts. 5. Everyone loves a good 5.
Yeah.
Now it's 7, which a lot of people like 7.
It's a number of perfection, some say.
What is your love language?
Words of affirmation is
Definitely.
my number 1.
Yeah. That's how you receive?
And give.
You. Oh,
Not
no. I was about to. I wonder if you heard that. My tummy growled again.
you.
I don't feel like you give a lot of words of affirmations to people.
Well, you don't?
Uh-uh.
I'm very verbally like lovey. I tell people how amazing they are all the time.
I don't really?
Yeah, including you actually. So why do you not feel like I do? Weird.
I'm being genuine.
Yeah, I know
I
you
don't
are.
feel like you do.
So what would be my number 1?
I don't know. I don't know how you choose to give. Again,
Because
normally.
my second's physical touch.
Okay, so, and we've touched each other a lot physically. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Technically, aren't love languages mostly? How do you share the most with your wife? I guess I should say.
Words of affirmation and physical touch.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, her first love language is not words of affirmation, so I've
No.
had to learn how to love her way.
yeah, it
but that's
doesn't
actually
really-
really difficult.
Yes, that's what most people have the problem of.
Yeah.
Is they try to give their partner their love language that they would like to receive.
Right. What are
if you're
these
not-
2 new ones, Joe?
Okay. Okay. So number 1
Okay.
or number 6
Yeah.
is shared experiences.
Oh my God.
What do you mean? I think that is just I would think, to me, that makes more sense than physical touch. Because physical touch, people are just like, yeah, I like physical touch because I like to. But shared experiences is like, it could be going places, going on vacation, like going to Disney. Like it's. I think that
Shared experience is the exact same thing as personal time.
Yeah, they had a whole big difference of the differences, and I was like, I'm not writing this down. I'm not gonna take a picture of this.
Because when you said shared experiences, it made me think of shared life experience, not necessarily together.
No, it was like specifically sharing experiences together.
Okay, that's a little bit better, but that still doesn't make a lot of sense.
That's kind of what I was thinking of.
She likes creating memories, yes.
That's shared experiences.
Yeah, but
But spending personal time can be sitting on a TV,
I don't think
sitting
that's
at
a
home.
love language, though.
I think it is, and so do the people. It is.
Creating memories is just a byproduct of loving.
No, I mean yes, it is. Again, let the single man tell you how this all works out.
Do I think that those moments can cause you to be more in love? Yes. But I don't
That's
think
a love language, dude.
I know, because it's
Here's
not,
the thing.
I
It
don't
doesn't
think that
matter
is.
because it's on the list now of love languages. So obviously people smarter than us have done this.
I think
That's okay.
why would they try to make new ones?
But
It's been around for who knows how long.
here's the thing. I think just like what you were saying earlier is one of those problems. Because it's hard to always connect with your partner's love languages.
Right.
And that's a big one for people. Okay? You don't like it. That doesn't mean it's not real. Just so you know.
I love creating memories, but
I don't think you really do. There's nothing wrong with that. You are not a shared experience kind of guy. What? I'm not a very physical guy. I would like to be, you know what I mean? Know what I mean?
I know what you mean, John. I don't know, man. I don't know if I agree with that, but
You don't have to agree with it.
There's someone else in this room that does.
But you also don't have to. I'm telling you,
That's
these are
fine.
new love languages that are a part of the
It
thing.
doesn't feel like they were vetted very well.
They are.
All right, what's the seventh one?
The seventh one, and I can't wait for you to talk about how much this isn't one either. Emotional security.
Oh my god.
See, you're the problem. You are. Why? Why do you say, oh my God? Tell me,
It's just
Justice.
a byproduct of love.
What do you. Just, that is maybe one of the dumbest things you keep on saying. All these love languages are a byproduct of love and how to feel loved.
Because
Yes.
the first 5 love languages are more actionary,
What do you.
right? So words of affirmation, it's an actionary thing,
Okay.
right? You either say it to
And
somebody
if
or
you
you
love
receive
someone,
it, right?
if you love someone,
Yes.
like you're like, man, I love you. Are you not gonna want to, I don't know, say something to that person about how much you love them?
Yeah.
Okay. Continue.
That's what words of affirmation are.
Got it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If you really love someone, don't you want to have some good shared? Not you, but most normal people would like to have shared experiences with that person.
I would
That
love
seems like an action to me.
Joe.
Just seems. You know what? Being emotionally secure, a security for your partner, that feels like an action. That feels like something that it takes action to do.
Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Security, right?
Yeah.
How is that a love language?
Okay.
Like, I actually want you to tell me how
Perfect.
that's a love language.
I will. One, I'm glad you say, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Did I say what do you mean?
No, I was saying.
I
But
purposely avoided it.
This is not surprising to me after your crime list that you chose. Just so you know, we're getting a very good picture of you in this
I'm
episode.
beginning to think I shouldn't have put murder as number 1 for other reasons.
Yeah, do tell.
No, it's fine.
Okay, what was your question? I forgot.
How is security of love language?
Okay, how do I say this in a PG way?
You should easily be able to say it in a PG way.
No, okay.
Are we talking about
no.
physical security?
I'm
Are we
about
talking about overall
it's
security?
mental security. But what is a very common phrase when you hear about two people making love? What's a really big thing for women? To help them
Intimacy.
no. Look, as a man, I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Women can experience a stronger
Connection.
fireworks
Okay, that's very PG. Thank you.
if they feel
Secure.
safe.
Interesting. What's the whole idea behind a bad boy then?
What do you mean?
It's the whole idea that he's not safe, not secure.
Yeah.
That's why they're attracted.
You're
to him.
gonna take the worst.
I'm just saying. You said most women, but I think
Yeah,
most
most
women like
no,
the
no.
bad boy.
What is wrong with you?
Listen, Joe.
I think.
Can I tell you something? Here's why you're wrong.
I'm not wrong, but continue.
Well, you're not
Because this isn't my list.
You didn't make this list. This is why they're wrong.
They're not.
Security. First off, say like okay. So
I
a lot
thought
of the
you would have been all.
All right.
never
So the
mind.
love languages, right? You either give or receive, right? So with security, how do you give that? You either do feel secure or you don't. Right?
You can easily
Isn't-
do things
isn't-
to make your partner feel more secure.
Of course.
How do you do that?
But is that a love language? Or is that just
do you know
being
what
a
a
good
love
person?
language is?
Joseph?
Everything that you have talked about are actions. Love language has to be an action, which again is not necessarily real. It helps, but making yourself,
A lot of
making
the
sure,
5 love languages are all
making
actionary.
so is the 6 and 7. Making sure your partner feels emotionally secure and open. That takes action.
So it's
Are
a
you
lo-
saying
so,
you?
So it's a love language.
If your wife comes to you,
It is a love language.
if your wife comes to you and is having a rough go at it and she wants to talk about it, She wants to meet you emotionally. She wants you to meet her emotionally.
Yeah.
But if you're not emotionally, if she doesn't feel emotionally secured with you, she's not going to do that. And you're not going to do that with your partner. There's no way you will, because that you're not a secure person for me to come to.
Okay.
I don't understand how you don't see these.
I don't.
I know why you don't. It's because you don't want to acknowledge and you don't want to open your boundaries. And that's the problem with Republicans. Bringing this back around.
Yes,
You're the
we're
problem.
we're very big on not opening borders.
You're the problem here. Not me, you.
I don't think these have been vetted enough.
They have. You're insane. You're insane because number 6 is literally your wife's main one.
Which is what?
Shared experiences. It is her main one. You do not want to acknowledge it.
It's not her main
It
one.
is.
It's not.
Let's see.
Her main
Pearson?
one
Yeah or
is
nay?
personal time. It would probably be a close second, but her main one's personal time.
Okay? As the husband,
You're
as
allowed
the
to voice
husband,
in on this.
as the husband, you get to decide what she believes, as we all know
She's
in
right-
2024
she's
America.
right here. Kirsten, what are your main ones?
It would be number 6.
Boom!
Number 6?
Yes, because then you put personal time on top of that.
Get closer to her, Justice. Come on, man.
Well, personal time. That's what I was saying. Shared experience is just personal
No,
time.
it's not.
It's under that umbrella.
It's
Specific type of personal time.
yes.
It's
It's
the dedication of planning an experience, and you plan the experience together, and then you go do the experience. That's what fills up my cup. But because I was never a love language, it just falls under.
yes.
Whoa, shoot me down. I'm wrong.
Okay, so when she tells you, you agree, but when I tell you,
Joe,
if you don't
that's
believe
my,
at this
that's
point,
my person.
okay, I am the smartest man on the planet.
You're not.
I am.
You're not.
Because I don't have that kind of mindset. And let me
kind
tell
of
the
mindset?
world. Let me tell the world this.
What kind
If
of mindset?
everyone was a little bit more like me, okay, and could admit,
We'd all have broken legs and
listen, again,
get your hands under control.
could admit when they don't know things,
I
everyone would be a lot better off.
I have to if
Do
I'm
it.
if I'm being
Do the
if-
research.
If I'm being honest with myself, they just feel like they fall under the umbrellas of the other ones. They are extended.
But you could say that about the other 5.
Joe,
You could say physical touch is a part of quality time.
It doesn't have to be though.
But they're all
quality
just,
time. Because
you
quality
could
time.
say words of affirmation is a thing of gifts. I'm
I
giving
mean,
you the gift of kindness, kind
to
words.
me, it is a gift. But yeah, they all intertwine.
Because it's love.
But I don't think, because like if me and my wife were talking about personal time, I know that she likes going out and doing things.
She likes shared experiences.
Yes, but that would be under that umbrella of personal time.
But it's so big that it needed to be separated like gifts and words.
But if you do that, can't you just continue to make them unlimited love languages?
Well, so here's the thing. Is people have
Because
done that.
if you can change it so easily, that's my worry. If you can change it so easily, you can add anything.
And people do.
They do.
Okay. But this is
That's why I like the simplicity of the 5.
same. This is under the exact same. This is the same umbrella as the man that created the 5. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry to whoever did that.
Man.
And it was enough that it was like, okay, there needs to be a 6 and 7. And I can tell this is getting you a little bit. So if you need to do some studying, you can come back next week and tell me how right I am.
No, I'm just being honest. I think I feel like you're stretching to make those.
I'm not.
Because I feel like, yes, there are distinctions, but they're distinctions within what had already existed.
I will say this. The fact that if we're just looking about in this room,
Yeah, I know.
how much one of
It's
those
just my
was an
opinion.
immediate, like,
It's
that's
just
it. That's
it's
what a love
just-
language is supposed to do, is to help you realize this is how I can be loved
tell
better.
you, I didn't need that to know that that was part of my wife's love language. I knew that because I've spent a lot of personal time with her and I know who she is.
I don't know why you feel like you're getting so. I feel like, how do we get at this at a deeper level? Because
careful.
it seems like it's getting you a little bit,
I
and I don't know why.
I think there's a danger to it. I think there's a danger to opening those kinds of floodgates.
Have you read? When last did you read the book?
I've never read the book.
You should read the actual book, and I think that would change everything you're saying to me.
Maybe Joe. I'm not.
How have you never read the book?
I don't know. We just
Dad never made you read the book when you guys were like, "Oh, you should read the book."
I mean,
You could listen
read,
to it.
I've read on all those things.
No, you should read the book. It changes it for me personally.
Okay.
Because growing up Christian, at least I always felt like we always heard about the love languages. Reading that book made me be like, oh my God. Like, it changed my outlook on
That's
them.
really cool.
You're upset. I get it.
What do you mean I'm upset?
I get it because
I'm
you're
not
giving me the responses of a very upset Republican
I have been really
right
calm.
now. And as a liberal, I do not like this. I do not like this idea.
I don't understand what you're talking about. I stand by what I said.
Okay.
Because I don't want to be flimsy with what I said.
You should.
But I understand what you're saying. I get it.
You should.
I think there's danger in it, though.
I think if you have this kind of reaction to something, you should look deeper into it.
Yeah, I will.
I don't believe
need
you.
to. But I will for you.
I think you should look into it for your wife.
Sounds like she needs it. Because she's in really heavy agreement with it. Joe, I'm not saying those things don't exist. I want everybody to know I think those are real things and those are real ways that people experience love. But I also think that they also encompass what's already in there.
I think you're trying to already do
like
you're trying to save yourself.
I don't think those
again,
two distinctions need to exist.
For the What's with the Lemon audience, get them. Attack.
I just don't
get them.
I don't think those two distinctions need to exist for them to be known or included in some other way.
In 5 years, you will disagree with me.
I already disagree with you.
No, you will disagree with what you're saying.
Then I'll disagree with myself.
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's true. And you needed 7. Other than that,
okay, can I ask you another question?
Yeah, go for it.
How long had the love languages been a thing?
Phil. Phil.
I got a Phil Collins.
No, Phil time.
Dr. Phil. Philip Seymour Hoffman. I don't know, man. I don't know any more Phils. Phil from work. Nathan Fillion. This is hard, Joe.
Okay.
Okay.
That one was
Terrible.
the worst.
Filling.
You do a podcast, bro.
Yeah.
That was miserable to witness.
The
love language book.
Yeah.
And the man who created it. It came out in 1992.
I said, when was it? When was it?
Yeah,
created?
but you were saying like, I don't think we've given this enough consideration. Like acting like the love language was something 100 years ago.
But how long do you think that they've actually thought about this? Do you think it was after he died? Do you think it was before he died? Like when?
I think he's still alive.
Was he part of this?
I'm nervous. Phil.
No, Joe, stop.
I have to Google him now.
No, we'll do that later.
No, I'm doing it right now.
We're doing it live. Can you not talk and text at the same time?
I'm trying to search people. I'm trying to Wikipedia stuff. Justice, come on, man.
Listen, man.
Just talk about a game or something.
Nah, it's all good. I like.
He's still alive. He's 86.
It's pretty old. He's probably struggling a little bit.
Justice, what have you been playing? What have you been watching?
What? I want you to finish that thought. You what?
Nothing. You just make. It's just interesting the differences in us.
Here's the funny,
and that's why we make a good podcast.
That's true. But here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been this way.
You have.
And I don't like changing just because people make me feel bad about it.
You don't like change.
Not really, but I do.
So here's the other thing. I think
I
just
will change if
moving
it makes
forward, and so everyone knows, me and Justice are two very different people.
So different.
So incredibly
So
different.
crazy different.
So if you hear one of us, like me, talk about real things like the moon and the ancient artifacts and stuff we found on the moon, that is very real. Like, no, that's coming from me and my beliefs. And Justice, who refuses to believe the two new love languages, is Justice's
I
belief.
didn't say that.
You did several times.
I said I don't think that they should be included in the love languages
Yeah,
as like the 5.
the 7.
Yeah, no, now it's the 7. That's just my opinion, though.
That's fine. And I'm just letting people know we have different opinions on life.
And I've already said those feelings that people put in those love languages, those exist. They do.
True. I think if we can take one thing away from this podcast, is that we truly are making podcasts great again. That's been What's with the Livin'.